town. So, I'm just chilling, doing the black screen, cause, you know, just chilling, I'm like Batman. I can, maintain in the dark. So, but nevertheless, just got through rewatching Spence versus Crawford versus Spence, whatever you want to call it, and just really looking at how dominant Terrence Crawford was in that fight. And I hear people saying, "Don't jump on the Errol Spence bandwagon when they get some get back at 154." Well, don't hold your breath. You know, don't hold your breath. That's wishful thinking. But like I said before, what's the excuse gonna be when Terrence Crawford fights Errol Spence again and beats him? What he should have gave Errol Spence a tune-up. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to hear that, and I have to say something that was so funny. People like really had me die laughing, acting like I wasn't gonna continue to post stuff, and poke fun at Errol Spence getting whooped on. Like I said, ain't nobody worried about you, John Coffey. Ain't nobody worried about you, and and for real, bro, for real, you gonna end up like Debo fucking around with me, bro. But nevertheless, I welcome it. But anyway, so Devin Haney is in an interesting position. I guess you could say he in boss mode now. Basically, we all know that Devin Haney is set to fight Regis Prograis October the 28th in Las Vegas. Location has yet to be determined. I'm gonna try to get in contact with Bill and see where they're gonna be fighting at. So more than likely it'll be the MGM Grand, because Devin has fought at the MGM Grand, I think, a couple of times. Well, at least three times. I know I've covered Devin Haney's last few fights at the MGM Grand. He had a fight in Las Vegas versus Linares. That was at the Michelob Ultra Arena. Then he had a fight with Jojo Diaz at the MGM Grand. I was at that fight. And then, of course, I was at his most recent fight, which was Vasily Lomachenko, in which he won a unanimous decision. Some people say it was controversial. I thought Devin Haney clearly won the fight. I just want to say something to Nelly's goofy ass. I thought you was done with boxing because you just thought what happened to Lomachenko was a travesty while you was sitting up there like cooning and stuff. But at the end of the day, you was, bro. You was. You was. And Lil Boosie, come on, man. Devin Haney didn't win one round. Stop it. I'll debate both of you dudes in boxing and destroy y'all both at the same time because neither one of y'all don't know how to break down a fight. But nevertheless, the next destination for me, I will be in Arizona next week covering Norrate. Y'all Mexicans, y'all got to excuse me. Some of them names is difficult to pronounce versus Oscar Valdez, so I will be in Phoenix next week covering that fight. I got credential for that fight. So I'll be in Arizona, Phoenix, covering that fight. But nevertheless, so Shakur Stevenson, I can't remember the outlet he talked to. I think it was either Fight Hype or Fight Hub. But basically, he basically revealed some information. He basically said that, Devin Haney is in recess, as the undisputed 135 champion. So basically, he will be allowed to go up to 140 and fight Regis Prograis for, I think, his 140 strap. Now, if I think he decides to go back down to 135, basically, it appears that Shakur Stevenson said they will go 50-50 as far as the purse split goes. which I don't have no problem with that. One thing that I have to say, I'm not going to sit up here and do like some of these other outlets. One thing I'm not going to do is tell a fighter how much they think they should get paid. I think a lot of these dudes are out of pocket for saying that and pocket watching. At the end of the day, people keep talking about, well, Shakur need to take the path that Devin Haney took. Well, no, he doesn't. Not necessarily. Shakur has every right to value himself and know his worth. Who are we to tell this dude how much he should take? And that's what pissed me off with some of these content creators. You know, they always telling black fighters if they're aligned with another black fighter what the other black fighter should take. But they never, like I said, do you see anybody telling Oscar Valdez what he should take? Do you see anybody telling Canelo what he should take? Do you see anybody telling David Benavidez what he should take? But you always got these niggas sitting up here trying to tell black fighters what they think they should get. And that was the biggest problem that I had when it came to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. A lot of these dudes being managers sitting up here telling somebody how much they think they should get when they ain't never had their ass in the ring ever in their life. That's one thing I don't do. I don't tell nobody how much they should get. I don't be pocket watching. I'm not going to tell Andy Ruiz how much he think he should get to fight Deontay Wilder. I'm just going to say, well, the money isn't there. And I'm going to say, well, hopefully they can find some common ground because it's not my job. I'm not going to sit up here and tell somebody what I think they're worth. I'm not no promoter and I'm not no fighter. And if Shakur think he worth, yeah, I'll be fine. And if Shakur think that he worth more than 25%, that's his right. To me, Shakur Stevenson is a pound for pound fighter. The same way Devin Haney's a pound for pound fighter, Shakur Stevenson is a pound for pound fighter. So why should Shakur sit up there and just say, I'll just take whatever? And Shakur has earned his stripes. You know, he's a Olympic silver medalist, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I said before, just because I'm cool with people and I deal with people, I'm not going to sit up here and compromise myself, and I'm not going to sit up there and sell out my channel and say stuff just because I'm cool with people. And that's the problem with these dudes. Because, like I said, I question a lot of these dudes on here. I think a lot of these dudes was secretly rooting for Lomachenko to beat Devin Haney, but they be all up in Devin Haney's face and stuff like they cool with him and stuff. So I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna make no video telling no fighter how much they think they should get paid. And that's just the bottom line. Whatever these dudes think they worth, you know, that's their right. You know, we hearing one of the reasons why there's a holdup with Arthur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. They saying that Dimitri Bivol wants certain type of money to fight Arthur Beterbiev because he got certain type of money to fight Canelo. Bivol must understand at the same time, there's a difference between Canelo money, then there's a such thing as legacy, then there's a such thing as Arthur Beterbiev money. I do think that they're going to have to find some kind of common ground. That's why you negotiate. Negotiate, figure out something. But at the end of the day, it can be made. This fight can be made. It should be made. And the fans want to see it. But Shakur said, hey, if Devin Haney returns to 135, I don't know whether it's win, lose, or draw, but if he defeats Regis Prograis and he decides to return to 135, then if he decides to go the route of Shakur Stevenson, then they're saying that Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney will split the purse right down the middle. And I don't have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Hey, Mark, what's up with that new arena? The one that the MGM Sphere. I just did some research. The only thing they have available right now is, I know YouTube, not YouTube, U2, shout out to Bono, is gonna christen that new arena that they have that look like a gigantic golf ball. That's like a 3D, like have all these. Well, it's basically a outside billboard, and I know this venue can hold up to 18,000 people. So that's pretty much a whole fight. Yeah, well, I know eventually that they're gonna have a boxing match there. I just want to know what's gonna be the first boxing match there. Cause I think YouTube got 3 dates straight. I think they got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, I'll tell you what, Mark. I'll talk to Evan, this weekend, and I'm gonna ask him what's gonna be the first fight or event that Top Rank is gonna have at that arena. I'm pretty sure that all three promotional companies have used that venue. I looked at the inside of that place. It looks dope. Look pretty roomy too. Now this new, yeah. So in case you guys don't know what me and Mark are talking about, there is a brand new state of the art. There is another arena. It's behind what is it? The Venerian. It's behind the Venerian, and it's like this. It's the shape of a round ball, and then it's like out. It has all these. It's basically a outside. It's basically a outs. Basically you can. What's the word I'm looking for? It has all these different. You could just do a lot of. You could advertise. You know, over the whole like outside of the arena. It's called the MGM Spear, and I think it is owned by I think it's owned not MGM. I think it's owned by Madison Square Garden. I think it's owned by those people. It's called the MSG Spear. It's a brand new state of the art arena. It holds to capacity 18,000 people. So that's pretty much a full fledged boxing match. That's pretty much a full fledged basketball arena because the average basketball arena at capacity could hold up to 18,000 people. So once again, Vegas is full of venues, and it costs like $2 billion to make. I know. I know they don't like for airplanes to fly directly over stadiums and stuff. For some reason, I guess it interferes with frequencies like when they run in scoreboards and all that stuff. So they have to fly on the side of it. But if you flying into Vegas, sometimes you'll fly because the airport is on the outskirts of the strip. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Madison Square Garden. So yeah, they already. I did some research on it. So basically, shit, that's where Devin should fight. He should fight there. Yeah, that's because they got all that fancy stuff. You know, it could turn into a gigantic. You know what I'm saying? Uh, the arena can transform into a gigantic like basketball. It's really amazing like arena. I'm talking about this is what you call super state of the art. I'm talking about you could advertise just whatever you want, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the first event there, but I would love to see Devin fight, Regis there or something. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. And that's why I didn't got pissed off at a lot of these dudes. A lot of these dudes sat up here tried to make you pick a side, and they tried to do that with me when it came to the Terrence Crawford Spence thing. And In particularly, they were dudes that was from the area. And like I said before, if you didn't want to be on the Errol Spence bandwagon, if you didn't want to be part of the Errol Spence brigade, then like I said, these dudes had attitudes with you and stuff, and be sitting up saying stuff, and that just ain't how I roll. I don't have no leader. I don't have no lieutenant. I don't have no sergeant. I don't have no master sergeant. I don't have no lieutenant. No, I'm not a private. I operate on my own. I know people. I'm cool with people, but that's just the bottom line. I'm my own entity. I operate on my own. That's why my channel says Town Business Sports and Entertainment. Self-reliant. It's okay to have people that you affiliate with, but yeah, I'm by myself, and I want people to understand that. I may be down with people, but I'm by myself. I'm solo. I'm solo. And I'm making that very clear. And people can take that however they want to. So well, how's Dallas been over the past week? I might not be welcome in Dallas no more after what I've been saying, but actually do I care? The way people have been behaved themselves in behind this Errol Spence thing, I would be ashamed to say I was from Dallas. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Some of these Dallas dudes, the way they behave over the past week is just really disturbing. It's really disturbing, and that's the only way to put it. It's been really disturbing to see how people have conducted themselves. At the end of the day, it's just a damn fight. The better man prevailed, and it was Terrence Crawford. I always knew, like I said before, I always knew Terrence Crawford would win. And now I got well, listen, they can't be angry. They can't be angry at Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford did what he was supposed to do. If anybody they should be angry at is you know they should be angry at Derrick James, because Derrick James didn't have a good game plan for Terrence Crawford. They made no adjustments, and he wasn't giving Errol Spence good advice in between rounds. Did you listen to the advice and listen to what Bomac was telling Terrence Crawford versus what Derrick James was telling Errol Spence? It was just, you could just see who was more prepared. And that's just the bottom line. Team Crawford was just more prepared for this fight. And they will be prepared if there's a rematch. Me, myself, I don't understand why people think a rematch is going to be different. Listen, when you take a beating like that, when you get beat up like the way Errol Spence did, it's gonna reflect you. It's gonna hurt you. It's going to follow you, because at the end of the day, Errol Spence is 33 years old. It doesn't matter whether he goes up in weight, he still got hit upside his head. And he got punched a lot in that fight. Errol Spence got hit on the side of his head throughout the fight. Damaging blows. And that's what people don't understand. And you shouldn't have to keep trying to explain this to them. It's not going to be any different. He got knocked down 3 times. He was battered. If people are sitting up there saying that he could go up there and beat Charlo at 154, why wouldn't he be able to beat Errol Spence at 154? Is people making any kind of sense? And how long has Charlo been at 154? Okay, there you have it. So why do you think, if you think Terrence Crawford can beat Charlo? And I'm just saying, this is just factual. I'm just saying this is factual. If you think Errol Spence can do anything with Charlo at a different weight class, I mean, excuse me, with Crawford at 154, like I said, it's just false hope again. You set yourself up again. At the end of the day, keep making the excuses. People keep saying, well, Errol Spence was weight drained. And I'm disappointed in Shane Mosley for trying to make excuses for Errol Spence. Well, wasn't Errol Spence campaigning at 147? If Errol Spence knew he couldn't make, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna be blunt with it. If Errol Spence was weight drained and he couldn't make 147, then he should have vacated. He had the opportunity. He keeps saying, well, I promise that I will fight Terrence Crawford. Well, then what's the problem? You should have moved up. If you knew you couldn't make the weight, you should have vacated the belts and allowed Terrence Crawford to be able to at least fight certain people for the belts. So I don't want to hear this stuff about that he was weight drained. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. I don't want to hear he was weight drained. I don't want to hear none of that stuff. He signed the contract, and that's just the bottom line. The fight was for 147, undisputed. That's it, that all. He had the belts. He was the champion. It was all good until he lost. What if let's go this direction? What if Errol Spence had won? Then what? What if Errol Spence had won? Would we be having this conversation? No. Everybody would be talking about Errol Spence is the greatest thing since the wheel, greatest thing since sliced bread, greatest thing since cherry Coke. And if people was trying to make excuses for Terrence Crawford, they would be saying people was being sore losers. People need to accept the fact that Errol Spence was the better man. So why do we have to go on this sympathy tour for Errol Spence? Errol Spence got his ass handed to him. He got beat the hell up, and that's just the bottom line, and people got to live with it. Now, yeah, it was all good just a week ago. Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, the epilogue was real good. And I'm going to say this again. The Dallas people, y'all people in Dallas, y'all going to just have to accept the fact that Errol Spence lost. Like Homeboy said on Harlem Nights, don't take this ass whooping personal. He got beat. All this stuff about, and then another thing, Errol Spence trying to be all, acting like he, like he the promotional guy telling Terrence Crawford he need to thank him and all this stuff. Thank you for what? Thank you for what? For what you was supposed to do, what you should have did 2 years ago? Fight him? No. Terrence Crawford ain't got to thank you for shit. You were supposed to fight him. You needed Terrence Crawford just as much as Terrence Crawford needed you. So once again, stop feeling yourself, Errol. But anyway, let me get back to Shakur and Devin Haney. And this is real talk. I have to say this. I'm really fond of Shakur Stevenson. Have to say that. I like Shakur Stevenson a lot. Shakur Stevenson, he takes care of me. He takes care of my correspondence. Once again, always gives me interviews. I did an interview with his fiance, Young Lyric. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit up here and tell Shakur how much he should get. Here's the thing. And by the way, I see people, using some of my talking points now, which is fine on their videos. I don't have no problem with that. But as far as Shakur, and Devin getting a 50 split of the purse, I don't have no problem with that. I'm not going to sit up there, and I'm going to say this once again. I'm not going to sit up there and tear down Shakur Stevenson. I'll leave that for these other lame ass niggas. I gotta be completely honest with you, and this is the honest to God truth. And I've actually had Shakur on my channel more than I've had Devin Haney on my channel. I just always see Shakur because I cover a lot of top rank events. So it's naturally that I'm gonna, have more footage of Shakur than I would Devin Haney. And I like Shakur. Hey, what's up? I like Shakur. I like Shakur a lot. Good kid. At the end of the day, everybody says something that you don't agree with, but do we take it to the extreme sometimes? Yeah, sometimes we do. I'm not gonna always sit up here and pound and trounce on somebody because they say something I may not agree with. But basically, if Devin, I guess, win, lose, or draw, if he wins a title, which I think if Devin wins Regis title at 140, what reason would you have to go back down to 135? But that's Mauricio Sullivan. He just all over the place. More than likely that they're going to order Devin Haney. If Devin decides to go back down to 135, and it's looking like Shakur Stevenson and Vasyl Lomachenko is in negotiations for possibly a November showdown, which I have Shakur winning. I have Shakur winning that fight. I have Shakur beating Vasyl Lomachenko. So Lomachenko is about to suffer back-to-back losses. Yeah, the WBC is just all over the place. Mauricio Sullivan has done his father a great disservice the way he's run amok with, the WBC, how they come up with franchise bill. First they say the franchise champion wasn't interchangeable, said you couldn't fight for. Then they said you could. Then they did. It just all depends. But I guess as long as the check has enough zeros attached to it, or I guess however they pay Sullivan, whether it's in Bitcoin or whatever the case may be, I guess he'll do whatever they ask. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do suspect that there's a little bit of foul play in the whole WBO situation, and I'm going to break that down before I end this video. But I do think that Shakur and Lomachenko should have a legitimate chance. They should be able to fight for the WBC. I think whoever wins could be, I guess they could be like the regular champion, and I guess Devin Haney could get elevated to the super champion. So therefore, because we all know that the WBC can just invent a belt at the drop of a dime, but it appears that Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson is on the verge of having a showdown. So basically, I guess whoever wins that fight is in line to face Devin Haney if Devin Haney decides to come back down to 135. But Devin Haney, if he wins and beats Regis Prograis and he takes Regis Prograis 140 belt, well, what reason would he have to go back down to 135? It's pretty much been revealed that Devin Haney has struggled to make 135. And it's no secret now. So I don't see why he would go back down to 135 unless I'm talking about some life-changing money. I'm talking about an 8-figure payday is down there for Devin Haney. to face either Shakur Stevenson or Vasil Lomachenko in a rematch. He already beat Vasil Lomachenko. Um, I think the real intriguing money would be with him versus Shakur Stevenson because you would have boxer versus boxer, and Shakur Stevenson is a master boxer. So it would be a intriguing fight. And it's a sellable fight, and it'll be a sellable fight too because Shakur he know how to sell a fight, um, in and outside the ring. He's fun to watch inside the ring. I don't know where people get this notion that Shakur Stevenson puts on boring fights. Shakur Stevenson is very dominant. People act like Shakur Stevenson only throws like 15 punches per round. I mean, dude gets off. I mean, for real. So basically, what's going to happen is um, they have to split the purse 50-50. But Shakur think it's cap. He just think that Devin ain't coming back down to 135. He think he's going to stay at 140. Me, myself, I blame Mauricio Sullivan for this because he's just not being transparent. He needs to make up his damn mind what he wants to do. Man, Shakur Stevenson is gonna beat the hell out of Lomachenko. He may stop Lomachenko. He gonna beat Shakur Stevenson. Go beat the hell out of Lomachenko. He gonna beat him. He gonna beat Lomachenko, and he probably gonna stop him, and probably behind the scenes, the fake pro black dudes gonna be sitting up rooting for Lomachenko behind the scenes. Yeah, white Jesus gonna get gonna get beat up again. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this much about Adrian Broner, and this is the honest to God truth. I think Adrian Broner, based off what he's done for boxing, because Adrian Broner, like him or not, Adrian Broner was fun to have in boxing. And Adrian Broner, for the most part, he used to could sell tickets. He used to could at least when he headlined the fight, he could at least get over 10,000 people, in a basketball arena. Me myself, I think if Devin gets past Regis, I think Devin should fight. I think he should fight Adrian Broner at 140. Adrian Broner, I think he said he can come down to 140. I think he said he could still make 140. Get Adrian Broner a big payday, and then let Adrian Broner just retire. I'd love to see that fight. Of course, I'm picking Devin to win because Adrian Broner still to this day he just don't let his hands go. But I think that'll be a good fan friendly fight. All right, you guys, taking a breather. Be back in like 30 minutes.